Hi, I'm Andrew, and welcome to the Neon Knitter. So, apologies for the shaky footage. For this short little video, I didn't feel like clearing off my floor to film in my usual spot, so I'm sitting on my bed and I'm holding my phone, so it's not propped up. So, if it's a little shaky, it's because I'm holding my phone. So, this video is going to be another LYS Tour, local yarn store tour. This video is the Yarnery in St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, before you guys start questioning me and going, oh, didn't you already film a tour at the Yarnery? I did. They just recently moved, and so this is a tour of the new space. So, and they moved while I was away at my treatment. I didn't know until I left for my treatment that they were moving, so yeah. Now, since I'm currently unemployed, I did not purchase anything there, so if I had purchased something, I probably would have taken the time to just do my usual spot so I could show you, but since I didn't buy anything, I'm not going to be really showing you any yarn at the end. But basically, when I first started going to the Yarnery, they used to be in an old house on Grand Avenue in St. Paul, Minnesota, corner of Grand and Victoria. And I don't have a tour of that, but if you would like to see a tour of it, Christy Glass did a tour of it. You can go watch that if you want. So at least somebody did do a tour. And then they moved to the corner of Selby and McCubbin, also in St. Paul. And that is where I did my first tour at their previous location. And basically, they were in that house for like 30 years. Longer than I've been alive. And it was kind of congested and crowded in there, and there wasn't really a come sit and knit space because it's just a house and it had very tiny, tight rooms. But they made it work. I honestly kind of missed that spot. It was kind of quirky and fun, and it had character to it. But then they moved to their space on Selby Avenue, and their plan was, excuse me, their plan was to create this space that was inviting for knitters to come in, and they wanted to be able to make a come sit and knit with us space, and they wanted to create just a nice environment where they had a lot of yarn for sale, but where you could come sit and knit, you know? Well, they quickly outgrew the space and never had the space to put a come sit and knit space because they had so much yarn that, you know, they quickly outgrew it. So then they started looking for a new space, and they moved into the place on Selby Avenue. It's either March or April of 2020. I know timing when the pandemic started, but they already had the lease signed on the place, so excuse me. So then they decided they needed to find a bigger space because they really wanted to come sit in knit space, you know, and so they found a new space on the corner of Cleveland and St. Clair. So it's actually more convenient for me. It's one bus instead of two, so I don't have to transfer buses to get there. So, yeah, so I went there yesterday just to check it out. And I will say it is significantly bigger, and I really like it. They have a nice come sit and knit space. They're comfy chairs, and they spin. It's kind of cool. And right as you walk in, they have right by the come sit and knit space all their like giant cones of Holst garn. They also have a big Holst garn display as well, which you'll see in my video, which is really nice. And then they have multiple bases from Holst garn. Otherwise, the shop is set up by weight. So you come in the door, and on the left when you first come in is a big, huge wall of fingering weight yarn. And then on the right when you come in is a couple little rooms. They don't have doors, but the space they moved into used to be like office space for I don't remember what, but so there were some offices in those spots, and they just knocked the walls down pretty much. But each one of those rooms is a different weight of yarn. So the first one on the right when you walk in, I believe, is Sport and DK. Then the next one, I believe, is like Worsted and Aran. And then the last one, I believe, is Bulky and Super Bulky. And if there's any jumbo weights, I'm sure it'd be in there too. I think the lace weight mohair was like in the same area as the fingering, just like on a shelving unit across from it. But yeah, I think it's really well set up. And they've got like all the notions scattered about the store. And yeah. Yeah, I highly recommend if you're in the area, go check it out. If you live in the Twin Cities but you haven't been to their new space yet, go check it out. It's great. You don't have to wait for Shop Hop. You can go now. They opened on October 1st in their new space. And yeah, it's just a great environment. Highly recommend. Well, anyways, enough of me talking. I'm going to put the footage on the screen now, and then I will be back. Okay, so now that you've seen the footage, there's pretty much nothing else for me to talk about. I will say I did find a couple of skeins of yarn I would like to buy in the future. So I will be going back to do that, but first I need to find employment, but I think I need to finish my other program I'm in now for my treatment before I do that. So I'm not sure how many acquisitions you'll be seeing in the near future. I know my next episode has some acquisitions, but after that, I'm not really sure. Unless I happen to get anything from the free bin at Stephen B. Because I do go there once a month for a men's knitting group. So, yeah. But otherwise, it might be a while before I have another acquisition. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm Andrew. Thank you for checking in here at the Neon Knitter, and I will see you in my next video.